Is it worth getting married in 2022 if you are male? I won't waste your time. The answer is pretty obvious. It depends. It depends on what you want from your life. It depends how do you want to be viewed at 65. What do you want to happen in your life at 70, 75, 80, 85? It's up to you. What do you want for your life? How do you vision your life going? Speaking of aging, married men live 10 years longer than men who don't get married. And that's a statistical fact. I'm Gray. Welcome to my channel. Consider subscribing, hit the like button, and share the video. So many times we have listened to people talking about the advantages and disadvantages of marriage. Over the past 2-3 generations, marriage has evolved as most things have. And so the expectations are different. People want so many things from marriage now. Things that they would get from their community. But if you live in America or you live in the Western world, you live in a more individualistic society. An individualistic society where children don't have to call their parents, live in one part of the country and their parents live in the next part of the country. Siblings don't call each other. They don't see each other maybe once or twice for the year on Thanksgiving and Christmas. But you get the point. It's a very individualistic society, whereas generations ago or centuries ago, some parts of the world like India and some parts in the Caribbean and Africa, marriage is not just about the two becoming one, but marriage is for the community, not just for those people. And so the expectations have changed. One of the reasons why people get married is because marriage is prestigious. Just look around. If you go into nice communities, those people usually are married. The truth is, marriage is a business strategy for the rich as well. So, marriage is a business, as it should be. But people married for different reasons, the legal reasons, the social reason, and the social prestige that comes with marriage. Married people are more respected than single people. Even single people respect married people more than they respect single people. That is why all the presidents in the United States have been married. I'm not sure that single people would vote for a single person who have never been married to be president. They haven't done so yet. So I think it's obvious in companies, in the corporate environment, even on the streets. It is what I see, is what I feel. Single people respect married people more than they respect single people. But correlation is not causation. We know that. We have our theories. But I want to talk about the prestige of marriage that marriage brings. We expect prestige from marriage, but people should never get married for the prestige. They should get married because the person suits them. It's the right fit. That person's the right fit for you. And when you're getting married, marrying for the prestige is not a great idea because it clouds your judgment. But nothing clouds our judgment more than love and sex. Now, love and sex are two different subjects, but I roll them in one. Nothing clouds our judgment in terms of, is this person the right person for me? Is this the right person for you? Well, I can tell she's got a big booty. I can see that too. But is that good enough reason to get married? She has nice hair. She has a nice figure. She has a nice smile. She has nice eyes. She has a beautiful complexion. Is that enough? Is that person going to, are you going to get along with that person? Those are the things you should consider. Can you build a life's business with that person? Are you going to feel lonely in that marriage with that person? Will you be able to negotiate and get past conflicts in that marriage? Will that person submit to you? These are questions you should ask as opposed to making emotional decision. But I digress. Is marriage worth it in 2022? Like I said, it depends. If you see yourself, family, children, grandchildren, then marriage is the thing for you. You should do marriage. Here's the thing. People make the mistake of thinking that they can get the benefits of marriage without marrying. You cannot. You cannot get the legal benefits. You cannot get the social benefits. You cannot get the intangible benefits. We know that common law agreements, they don't really work. 90% of them end before the 5th year. So those don't work. Marriage is still the best way to build and keep a family, to build wealth slowly. So 2022, if that's what you want, then marriage is for you. Here are some other benefits that still hold in 2022. Married men have more sex than single men. Hands down. And I know, the red pill come to say, oh, but common law men have more sex than single men. Not quite. Here's the correct statement. Men in common law relationship have more sex in the short term. That is a correct statement. You must add in the short term. In the long term, married men have more sex than everybody. Now, we know that married men, I mentioned earlier that married men, they live longer, they live healthier lives. So, in the red pill community, I know what they will say. I know because I'm red pill. I'm red pill before red pill was invented. I was red pill from during the days of Tom Leykis. So, ain't no argument out there that you're going to tell me any stats that I think, is, in 2022, there's no point getting married. The stats simply are not scary enough to stop people from getting married because the benefits of marriage outweigh the disadvantages, especially if it is done right. That is not to say you can do your marriage in such a way that it can't fail. Anybody's marriage can fail. It's a risk that you take. But I'll take that risk every time if it gives me the chance of extending my life by 10 years. Let me just say, correlation is not causation. But if you're going to comment in my description, if you're going to comment, and I hope you do, don't just leave it at that. Because you know what? I kind of agree with you. I don't think married men live longer because they're married. I think that's a part of it. But I have a theory why married men live longer. And I'm not sure it's going to be encouraging. So I won't share it here. Maybe in some future video. And that is one of the reasons why you should subscribe. I don't want to pander to men or women. I want to pander to the truth. Okay, now that I've made that plug, let's continue. Another reason that you won't hear mentioned is that married couples, they produce healthier and more intelligent children. I don't think this is said because it's controversial. How do I know that married people produce more intelligent children? They do better on the SATs. I know because I was a teacher for many years. I used to teach the SATs. And I can find stats to support that as well. So if you care about your children, if you care about family, in 2022, you have to consider marriage. I'm not telling you to get married to anybody because, let's be honest, not everybody's worth marrying. Not every woman is worth marrying. Not every man is worth marrying. Not everybody is the marrying type or marrying kind. I'm married, so I consider myself the marrying type. I'm so much of the marrying type that, you know what, I think I should have 3 wives. that aside, if that doesn't convince you that marriage might be something that's worth it in 2022, then you can always go look at the 1,000 legal benefits that you can't get if you're not married. Maybe they don't apply to you now, but throughout your life, maybe they might. You know what? Speaking of legal benefit, did you know that your wife cannot testify against you in court? You may never need that one. There are so many other legal benefits though that is tied around the economic benefits, tied around health benefits, things like that. For instance, during the pandemic, my wife had a baby, and it was very tight, very difficult to get into the hospital. But because I was husband, nobody could say, you can't get in. Her mother couldn't get in. Many people, baby daddies couldn't get in. Husbands did though. I'm just saying, husbands and wives, they are able to make decisions, legal decisions, health decisions, if it comes down to it. Those are some of the benefits that still stand. And those are some of the benefits that you'll never hear about. I mean, there are so many benefits that I'm not talking about here because I want to cut this video short. But what you should do is subscribe so you can hear the truth more often. Statistics that is being left out, a deliberate omission, just to say, you know what, marriage is not worth it. And maybe that's what you want to hear. But sometimes you should hear the truth. And this is what I want to bring to this channel. Some balance, some truth. In 2022, marriage is definitely worth it if you want a family, live longer, live healthier, more sex, and the list goes on. Cheers, and thanks for watching.